rollicking day, Pezza. A rollicking day of Test cricket. Not even necessarily a roller coaster. A fast-paced day of grade cricket and indeed Test cricket in Hyderabad there. England, India, everything happening. Saw a whole bunch of shit. I saw a whole bunch of things that I wanted to see. And as a neutral, I've had a great day watching the fast-paced nature of the cricket. Have you enjoyed the cricket today?
Mate, like, absolutely. When you watch the demonic fucking zeal of India's spinners whirling and twirling away, and it's not your team that they're bowling to, fantastic bowlers that I am willing to give flowers to at all costs and all times. I thought it was a good day, he goes. A dominant day for India. There was a 5-over period, maybe a 5-minute period after England's innings where it was like, actually sort of knowing a little bit about the game and how the game can move in India. 234, a very competitive score, especially coming from 7 for 155, 155 for 7. That lasted all of sort of Tom Hartley's first ball in Test cricket, playing one more Test than almost anybody watching this. And then it was just the Jaiswal show. So I saw things I wanted to see as a neutral, I have to say. I'm happy.
England bowled out for 246, and then India found themselves 119 for 1 with Jaiswal 76 off 70. Rohit Sharma the only man to fall thanks to Ben Stokes catching Jack Leach's bowling. Pezza, though, what we need to talk about, TGC for this Test series, Australia is not involved in any capacity. England and India, actually India and England. TGC is brought to you by Hell Energy Drink, Pezza. Highest selling energy drink cans in India, available in more than 60 countries across the globe. It's the first beverage developed completely through AI. What? The tagline, Pezza, gives you power like hell. Charlie, roll the clip.
Did you think that your talent would leave you today when it was all up to you? All you need is a little spark to go like hell. Hell Energy.
Thank you very much to Hell Energy Drink. Oh, they're getting behind TGC hard, and I feel like I need that because there's going to be some late nights coming up, especially when Australia and the West Indies are playing at exactly the same time, picture-in-picture gear. Okay? Pezza, first of the three things today I want to talk about. Was it as explosive as we wanted? Sure, I've seen 11 wickets. I've seen such high skill from India's players, both with bat in hand, one captain deciding not to burn all three of their reviews in 8 minutes, and also just the relentless skill of the Indian bowlers on, let's not call it a shit tip, but I can see it with me eyes. So,
hey, mate, look, we talked about this off air, so I'm being honest here. I had fears. I had my fears before the game, especially when Athers put the picture up 2 hours before the game. Now, it's just a picture you can see where it did, like, the deck looked markedly differently coloured on what looked to be quite a full length, actually, as it turned out.
Bit too full.
Yeah, and then you match that with the team that England selected, and you thought, oh, shit, what's this going to be? I'm tuning in for it. I'm definitely tuning in. But
I'm having a look.
I thought that it played exactly as the deck you would create if you were trying to win the game for India. That is, it wasn't at lottery levels. It wasn't breaking through the surface. As Harsha says, sorry to repeat, the ball is allowed to turn. I thought the turn, whilst being, I guess, it had its fury, it was fairly consistent. It's a deck that you can score runs on day one if you bat well, if you apply yourself, if you're a worldie, and then you just have these spinners from India who are just an absolute marvel to watch, and it's nowhere near as scary when it's not your guys at the other end facing it. So I actually I don't have deck complaints. I think it's a spinning deck. It's a spinning deck that's not like an absolute joke. I get annoyed when it's ridiculous and you just have no idea where it's going. But I thought it was fairly consistent, and India's allowed to make a deck that turns. Very interesting from an Aussie today, isn't that?
I can't wait to get them on the Gabba, though. We'll get into the second thing then, and just Indian spin takes 8. Stokes takes the piss, which kind of sums up England's first innings. Now, whilst Indian spin did take 8 wickets, Axar takes 2, Ashwin and Jadeja take 3 each, but then Bumrah takes the other 2 wickets, though he was bowling off spin, taking those 2 wickets.
I was going to say,
Rehan Ahmed with an absolute ragger, and then bowls Stokes with an offie as well. So you know,
and also like don't forget, like at the start of the innings when Crawley and Duckett were really getting away. And we were really concerned for the Indians there. We were waiting for the spinners to come on, but on the other hand, I did think Siraj was getting some turn as he was rolling his fingers over it. But I mean, I am being serious. I thought the deck. I think the deck is play on as far as like the spinning decks are concerned. I just think it's turning a lot. You're allowed to have a turning deck. It's just when it starts getting silly, which I'll be the arbiter of as a white man.
Yeah, no, of course. And that'll be adjudicated in the court of TGC here on the internet. So do punch in your comments because those will be referred to later in the final judgment. Just referring to the day, just in terms of like the day's play, like it actually was a rollicking start with Duckett and Crawley, who did get away to a little bit of a fly, sort of going about 6s and over for a little bit until the spin came on in the 9th over of the game, and then the game sort of really accelerated along. But it's like. And also Jadeja's gone at 4.7, I think, an over, which is apparently the highest run rate he's ever gone for in India. So I guess there's some success there. But that is successful in the sense of like he is so hard to get away. I mean, you cannot use your feet to him. It's too quick. I mean, we've been so lucky that we went to the Delhi Test match about a year ago when Australia playing there for the Border Gavaskar, and you see them just in the warm-up. Same with Ashwin. Like, you realize how quick it is, like how fast it is, and just like using your feet is just out of the question for the most part, really.
Except for Mark Waugh.
But then, well, of course, you just got to get in the full to it. But the ball of the day is reserved for Axar Patel to Johnny Bairstow, who is looking for a sponsor. And if you think that TGC should make bat stickers and sponsor Johnny Bairstow, please let us know in the comments, and also maybe tweet him. Because that is something that I'd be looking forward to. I would like to see a TGC sticker on Johnny Bairstow's bat. But, mate, I think Axar Patel's bowled to Bairstow 3 times before, got him out each time. Like, that is, without a doubt, the ball of the day. It's going to go pretty well close to ball of the series. That is fucking unplayable. I mean, that's pitching on middle, hitting top of off. Doesn't do a lot wrong, Bairstow. Doesn't do anything wrong, really. And that's just Axar Patel selling potions at the back of the Hyderabad Stadium there. That's just too good. It's witchcraft. Witchcraft is what it is.
Yeah, angles as well. You know, like it comes from so wide, and then when it straightens, it's actually turning a meter. Yeah, they call
him Pythagoras.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as much as Axar, but Pythagoras is 4 syllables. But nevertheless, it is the homage to a man of triangles and angles. Yeah. What was Pythagoras? C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And that's sort of how I see things when I watch spinners bowl. And then they got the Tamasha going at one point, and something's happening every ball. Ashwin's coming in. You're thinking, fuck, that is a high fade on the old salad there. But then you think, well,
high fade.
Who am I to complain? And there's a lot of spinners knocking around in this game who what they wouldn't give, for that kind of salad. So if you can do it, flaunt it. As far as I'm concerned, Roots broom turned to be something that caused his demise, and but yeah, it was a spinner's day. Quicks get a couple. Stokes erected the vigil for a bit, and the visual, but because the rig is looking tighter than normal. But he does that thing where he's like 20 runs off 50 balls. And then just starts fucking bouging everybody. And I like seeing that. And it just goes to show that you can score runs on the deck. And that's before he was bowled by Bumrah. I don't know did you catch Stokes' reaction to being bowled by Bumrah? So what I saw was Stokes wave his hands, look at the deck and shake his head and walk off. And then I heard Kevin Peterson say he's just appreciating Bumrah's delivery. So hard to know. I don't know if I'm meant to defer to the expert or for what I can see with my own American pies.
A lot of people across the internet really enjoying the pairing of Kevin Peterson and Sonny Gavaskar. People really enjoying that mashup of all the commentators in the world. Like, commentary is hard, we know this, Pezza. But if I'm in operations here and I want two of the greats going at each other, KP, Sonny G, fucking marry me. I mean, that is like, again, as a neutral, I don't have a dog in the fight really, apart from the view count maybe. But like that is a pairing. Oh, I mean, it's a Sauv Blanc with a nice salmon. You know what I mean?
Is it?
It's perfect for me. I don't know.
It's a fucking like. Is that what it is? To me, it's a fucking margarita with cigarette butts in it. You know, like. That I'm drinking it. Well, I'm drinking at the end of the night when I've just had far too many. One's too many. 10's not enough. I'm drinking anything on the table. I'm 20 years old. I don't have a fucking dollar to my name. I'm about to jump a cab home and I'm starting to swig things off the tables. Oh, fuck, cigarette.
I call that
this
the
one.
Glenn Maxwell.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No, what I meant was when I drink Sauv Blanc, my ears bleed. That's what I meant.
Sorry.
You know about my affliction that I have. It's quite traumatic. I don't really want to talk about it, especially on camera. Pez, if you want to get into the third thing in that Jaiswal sets sail.
Yeah.
And he takes down Tom Hartley, and who was obviously nervous. The first ball he bowls is not a bad ball, and Jaiswal just slog sweeps him for 6. Then he bowls a whole heap of shit after that. Double lengths, both sides of the wicket. It was a heap of shit. Stokes kept him on, I think, because first of all, he needs him, and I think that he's trying to show faith in him. But at the point where he's going for 10 and over off the first 5 overs, I was like, oh, please put him down. No, I think it's a 5-test series. He's been picked for a reason. He was nervous. I think you're allowed to be nervous on a test debut when you're basically the frontline spinner now all of a sudden, especially because Leach hasn't played in so long. Rian Ahmed's a young guy as well. Look, not frontline spinner, maybe not, but it's. I think he's allowed to be nervous for his first day. Unfortunately, the game has accelerated so much because of that spell. I mean, I can get Hartley's figures up here if I was efficient in my job. So Hartley has bowled 9 overs, none for 63. So more than half the runs have been scored off Hartley, off 9 overs. But I mean, it was partially, Hartley's how shit he was bowling. But fuck, there were some good shots from Jaiswal.
Yeah, I have sympathy for Hartley. That is being thrown to the wolves' gear, in a lot of ways. But I'm sure he'll take it. It's as hard as it gets. But he's playing a test for his country. It's early days for him. And as you say about the shots, like the guys they're so masterful playing spin. There was a really, really innocuous moment. I actually can't remember which left-arm ortho was bowling to Shubman Gill, who was new to the crease. And having just watched a couple of hours of England batters getting locked in to the crease, scarcely being able to get on the front foot, to get down the wicket, to impose themselves, to smother the spin in any way. It was Tom Hartley, actually, because I remember looking at the delivery. He just came and bowled a pretty good length ball on Shubman's pads, straight-ish, and Shubman just skipped down the deck and just worked him for 1, to long on. The easiest shot you could ever see. And you look at the pace, it's 88 k's an hour. That's not slow. And I just think it speaks to the skill and the familiarity of a lot of Indian bats to spin on decks they can actually work with. Like, I have... I'm not saying I'm excited for Indian bats, but privately they must be looking forward to the odd game where there is some consistency of bounce, even if there's a lot of spin. And so those guys being able to show their wares, not getting, you shouldn't really be getting tied in knots to Matthew Kuhneman, for example. But such were the decks that were presented back in February last year. But this time around, it looks like there's opportunity for their bats to actually cash in. And I mean, Rohit threw his away. He was looking great. He was about as far away from that ball as, Sanju Samson is a regular gig, for India. Just postcode stuff. And just went through with it. Probably just thought he could hit it for 6. But now these two, probably might be getting ahead of myself, but probably competing for one spot, when Virat comes back. So they'll probably push each other. But Jaiswal, well, I mean, how do you describe that? Like, it looks like an oversized helmet on the lid there, but it's actually like an unsuspectingly big chest, and there's a bit of height to it. And then again, the flourish of the bat, the full swing, it's very, very easy on the eye.
We also know Jaiswal's story coming from, extreme poverty and being brought up by not his father, and then the lengths he's been driven to succeed for India under 19 level, obviously with Rajasthan. Like, this is an opportunity that he's been given. Shubman Gill now at 3. It's like I can see this one going big, albeit on a still a difficult wicket to score runs, but not impossible. I really like the moment. I think it was actually in the first over. Mark Wood, maybe the second over, Mark Wood bowled the ball to Rohit, who flicked him down a fine leg, and whoever was down a fine leg threw the ball into Ben Foakes, who then just fucking absolutely cleaned up the stumps.
I was actually on the phone to my dad at the time and had to stop him like mid monologue because I obviously emitted a sound that caused him concern. He's like, "Are you all right?" Because I went like, "Oh my god,
oh my god!"
I mean, and it was very un-Foakes-like, right? Who is the sort of the emblem and personification of all that is neat and tidy. It's got to be. I mean, he won't sleep tonight. Foakes, as a result of that. He smashed those stumps to smithereens. One of them's reportedly still rolling. It's that was the untidiest thing I've ever seen. From a man of such aesthetic.
Yeah, it was like a man in a bar late at night just trying to bump into women to start a conversation. Just absolutely just bumbling his way around the bar. He just cleaned one up.
Sorry. Running with your gloves on with cymbals.
Yeah. Highlight of the day for many people. Anyway, that's a state of play. Hashtag AskTGC. We are asking for your hashtag AskTGCs. Get them into the comments below and we'll read yours out tomorrow if it's any good. And if it's not, well, we'll still think about it. A couple of questions first off, Pez, from Hunter and from Aaron. I'll start with Aaron saying, well, how come we haven't won yet? Maybe referring to the Australia-West Indies game. And Hunter said, why isn't Australia v West Indies or England v India over in a session? Are both bad at home? I think very fair and reasonable questions asked there. But this one comes in from Ralph Pezza. Will we see a video with Jack Russell in front of a dustbin showing Jarut how to use the broom properly? Are we looking forward to that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how many of the viewers will be aware of the Ian Healy equivalent from Australia last year, where a
masterclass
after the Australians kind of broomed themselves to oblivion with the sweep shot in Delhi. Ex-Australian wicketkeeper Ian Healy at his radio station in Queensland decided to deliver a masterclass shot on 16:9 mobile phone, and he was standing in front of a sort of a 30 centimetre high silver garbage bin with a bat and just explained how to play the sweep shot to different lines with Jadeja and Ashwin, how you hit them off their lines, how you make a few wiser decisions. And I can only imagine that that's something that Jack Russell, Matt Pryor, people like this are going to be doing for England to assist the boys in their sweeping troubles.
Well, I guess we'll find out what happens in the future when the future arrives. You know what? Straight after this, we're recording the end of the day's play of Australia and the West Indies, the biggest ever partnership against Australia in a pink ball test. Is that one too many caveats to talk about? I guess we'll find out on the channel. You can find it on our channel right now. If you don't want to watch that, don't worry about it. We'll see you at the end of the day's play for this test match right here tomorrow. See you then.